Today, guys, Trump is making history right now with the peace summit in Alaska, and things are looking really good for him, for America, for the world, guys. It is huge. We have big details, big breakdowns over what is going on, over the talks of what is going on with the Trump administration, with Putin, guys. So much breaking news for you today, guys, and we are here for it, guys. We're going to make sure you get taken care of. There is so much going on today. We're going to make sure you're taken care of. Right now, there is talks of swapping of territories between Russia and Ukraine, 4 territories in specific. Russia is demanding control over 4 Ukrainian regions. Right now, a specific proposal that's been talked about by Trump's envoy in talks with Putin includes a ceasefire with a de facto recognition of Russian-occupied territories, potentially postponing the status of those areas for 49 or 99 years. Trump has threatened severe consequences, including economic sanctions and tariffs, if Russia does not agree to a ceasefire. Some reports have said that the U.S. is offering to lift most sanctions on Russia and resume imports of Russian oil and gas as part of the deal. Remember, the #1 moneymaker for Russia is their oil exports, having to do with their gas and their oil. Putin has demanded that the Ukraine accept limits on its military capabilities and be permanently excluded from NATO membership. Guys, all this is what's being talked about right now. We're going to show you the receipts, guys. Things are getting so big. I'm telling you, grab some popcorn, take a seat. We have got a show for you today. Hillary Clinton has come out and said she is going to nominate President Donald Trump for Nobel Peace Prize if he brokers a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. Again, guys, I don't know what's going on, but you got a lot of people that are saying some crazy stuff, because why in the world would Hillary Clinton say this nationally? That Hillary Clinton says she will nominate Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize if he brokers a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. I think she's trying to get on his good side. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. We also have where, again, Trump is winning in the courts, guys. This guy is now 18-0 in the Federal Appeals Court, Supreme Court. Federal Appeals Court has now cleared the way for President Donald Trump to resume mass firings at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, finding that a lower court lacked jurisdiction in blocking Trump. Court records show that Trump has the authority under Articles 2 powers to continue the mass firings, reducing the size of the federal government. Guys, this is what we voted for. Smaller government. Stop wasting so much of our money. We also have it, guys, again, the DOJ is not messing around. They have officially indicted the mayor of New Orleans, who has been indicted over corruption and fraud charges. Again, I told you, in the next 3 to 6 months, we are going to see more indictments. This is happening, guys. The mayor of New Orleans has been indicted by the DOJ for corruption and fraud, and this is a big one, guys. Trump has officially exposed that 275,000 illegal aliens were receiving Social Security payments, and he has removed those people from the system, guys. When you think about it, 275,000 people receiving monthly payments, even at the minimum, guys, of $1,000, that's $275 million a month, okay? Then you multiply that by 12, and oh, looky there. Now we're looking at $3.3 billion a year that illegal immigrants were getting Social Security payments. Trump has removed them. Thank you, Trump, for putting America first. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. We got a big show today. This is literally rocking the entire world. This bombshell news of what we're finding out with all the details over the Trump-Russia Alaska Peace Summit, guys. This is huge. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our subscribers, all of our viewers. Thank you so much for your support. We got a big show for you today. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider joining our family here at TrueLife News. We want you here, guys. Today's a big day. It's also my 6-year anniversary with my wife. So just want to say thank you to everybody that supports us we're going to do the show for you today, guys. We got a lot of breaking news. Then I'm going to go spend some time with my wife, 6-year anniversary. But we want to say thank you to everybody that gives a super chat donation. Guys, show some love for Elaine Demeen in the chat, OG of the channel. Mr. Tracy J. Norby, let's go, OG of the channel. And Gregosaurus, Galoris, show them some love in the channel, guys. And if you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting that thumbs up like button, guys. And if you don't mind doing it for me on my anniversary with my wife, 6 years, baby. 6 years going strong. Thank you so much for your support. Like I said, we got a big show for you today. We are gonna, guys, the corruption is stopping. We've got the receipts. We're showing you guys, this is some big breaking news. Check this out.
It is amazing to consider what Donald Trump was able to overcome to get himself back to the White House. Because this deep state conspiracy to take him down was far more complicated than even we ever imagined. And now it's implicating one of the truly dark forces in politics today, California Senator Adam Schiff. And look, maybe you're familiar with what's going on, maybe you've heard about it this week, but tonight we're going to explain why this matters, because it does. And it could ultimately end with a U.S. senator in leg irons. And according to an FBI whistleblower this week, starting in 2017, then Congressman Adam Schiff approved of leaking classified information to smear then President Donald Trump over the now debunked Russiagate scandal. This whistleblower admitted that he and Adam Schiff were close friends, but that he, quote, considered the classified leaking to be unethical, illegal, and treasonous, but was told by Schiff not to worry because he would never be prosecuted. And this is important. None of these people ever thought Donald Trump was going to be president ever again.
I'm telling you.
But imagine the arrogance. A politician promising a friend that he wouldn't be prosecuted while that same Congressman, Adam Schiff, at that time, went on cable TV week after week for years and deliberately lied to the American people about a sitting president.
And you had a president as part of a cover-up, and here you have a president doing a different kind of cover-up. You have a president peddling these falsehoods. It is, I think, of a size and scope probably beyond Watergate.
It was enormously beneficial to Donald Trump, and to ignore that or to say it didn't happen, I think is quite inaccurate. And all of this was, of course, enabled by the Russian cyber operations.
It wasn't an overstatement. There is evidence of collusion. The Trump campaign manager was meeting with Russian intelligence and giving them internal polling data, just to give you one example.
Guys,
Just the air.
all this stuff that you are seeing now, everybody is changing their tune like nobody's business. Could you ever have imagined, guys, that you would see on this screen that Hillary Clinton said she'd nominate Trump for a Nobel Prize if he brokers the peace between Russia and Ukraine? Why? Because something's about to happen, guys. She doesn't want to be caught in the crossfires. She knows she's about to be caught. The DOJ is coming. Grand jury probes are happening, guys. And we are finally seeing this happen, guys. I don't know about y'all, but I am so pumped up right now. This is the most boss move that any president could ever make, guys. That him and Putin are meeting, all right? They're coming together. All this stuff tried to stop this from happening, from what you're seeing right here on the screen. Every collusion, every court case tried to keep Trump because they wanted these forever wars. Trump said no. And look at this right here. With Trump walking with Putin, the most boss move in the world is say, oh, hey, look up right there. You see that B-2 bomber, $2 billion aircraft? Oh, you see those fighter jets? Oh, yeah. You don't want to make a deal? Those are coming for you. That's probably what he just told them, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is President Trump at his finest. And what I love is that now we are finally exposing all the corruption of all these people that tried to put his butt in jail. They couldn't. And this is MAGA winning, baby. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, this is huge. And guys, go ahead, show some love to Jeff Poffreman in the chat and Mr. Norby for gifting 20 TrueLife News memberships. If you got a free membership, show Mr. Norby some love in the chat. Grow in the TrueLife News family, guys. What a blessing, guys. Such a big day today with all this breaking news that's going on. This is huge.
Arrogance and the cockiness that he would never get caught is remarkable. Adam Schiff did that for years. Think about the impact that had. Even if you knew the truth then, every week for years, the slow drip of misinformation about a sitting president, after a while, I don't care who you are, it starts to resonate. It starts to sink in. Maybe Donald Trump did do something. He didn't do anything. But people start to ask questions, all based on a lie that Adam Schiff was propagating. The White House responded with this.
For years, certain officials used their positions to selectively leak classified information to shape political narratives. It was all done with one purpose, to weaponize intelligence and law enforcement for political gain. Those abuses eroded public trust in our institutions. The FBI will now lead the charge with our partners at DOJ, and Congress will have the chance to uncover how political power may have been weaponized and to restore accountability.
So we're doing this tonight because this part is important. All these revelations about Adam Schiff and many other Democrats, prominent Democrats, and one would think that a profit-driven business like the corporate media, the legacy media, would report on this if we had an honest media, which of course we do not, we've never have. You'd think they would report on this story, but they can't. And this is really important. If you haven't followed this story for a day, this is important. They can't report on this story honestly now because they were complicit then in telling the lie. Baby. That Donald Trump was somehow a secret Russian agent, which is just ironic because he's going to be meeting with the president of Russia tomorrow about ending a war.
This is so big that what you're seeing here, and what I love too, is this is what was posted by the White House, pursuing peace. This is Trump and Putin. This is big stuff, guys. The stuff that they're going over and what they're talking about, the land swaps, the sanctions, having to deal with making sure that Ukraine doesn't get into NATO. All this stuff is on the table right now, and it's all about peace. It's all about getting to a ceasefire. It's all about making sure that we stop the dying, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe that even though, think about it, the media, everybody's been against Trump, that this guy still is doing everything that he can to help garner world peace, making sure that not just Americans are winning, but everybody around the world is a safer place. That is what I'm talking about when it comes to the President of the United States, guys. And again, where did it all come from? It came from what you're about to see here, guys. The lies, everything, legacy media, Comey, Clapper, all this stuff. They did not want President Trump as president because he's about to get peace. Listen to this.
In the corporate media working with him to help him shape this Russia narrative. Think about that. Remember, the media was complicit all along. Don't forget, no one ever thought Donald Trump was ever going to be president again. They thought they'd get away with it. They're not going to. And now one of the leading reporters, someone who's covered this story for the last decade, thinks that indictments are coming next.
I think there are going to be indictments. I was very skeptical on that question even a couple of weeks ago, but I have heard repeatedly from these folks that they understand that this is not a hearts and minds contest and that they are not doing this for show, and that if they don't end up in a courtroom, that this will be a massive political failure for them. But I keep being told that Hillary Clinton is actually a target in these investigations. It may turn out that something having to do with her original email situation will be wrapped into some kind of conspiracy case.
So here we are. All of them. Clapper, Comey, Obama, Adam Schiff, even Hillary Clinton could be at risk. Because this time is completely different from Donald Trump's first term. Remember, lock her up? Donald Trump didn't lock her up deliberately. He was a first-time politician, made it all the way to the White House. But he wanted to play nice the first time around. Donald Trump, look, this is not a fault, but he's a politician. He wants to be liked, and Donald Trump played nice, but not anymore. That's over now. After 2 impeachments, arrests, indictments, assassination attempts, everyone who played a role in this lie will be held accountable, we have no doubt, because the Democrats are now talking about something else. They know the gig is up, so they've altered. And they're now talking about civil war. And nobody else seems to be concerned with language like this from sitting members of Congress.
What time home? moment, let me tell you, all over the country, we will continue to stand up for our rights, and we will continue to call out the terrorist organization that is ICE.
Wow, guys. Again, like all this stuff that's happening, what I love that I get to show you on this channel is that no matter what, we're going to clean up America, guys. This is as big as it gets. President Trump just revealed 275,000 plus illegal aliens have been kicked off of Social Security benefits. They were literally receiving payments, Social Security. All this was happening. He did it on the 90th anniversary of Social Security. The Democrats said that not a single illegal is getting benefits, but guess what? It was a lie. We have the proof, guys, and this is what I love, is that all this stuff that's coming out, we now know that we cannot trust the Democrats and what they say. We can't trust left-wing media. We bring you the receipts, guys, of what is actually going on. Peter Corbett, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Mr. Tracy J. Norby, let's go, brother, for the super chat. He said, Jeff Pofferman, thank you for your support, my UK brother. Congratulations, Joel. Help you have many more blessings in years. I love it. Thank you so much, Mr. Norby. Guys, this is such a blessing, guys. Not only did I get to show you this and how much money is being saved, billions of dollars a year from not having to pay these illegal Social Security payments, guys, but I want to show you something else because, again, we have done something different with this channel. We have partnered with a sponsor on this channel, Chapter, and we are helping people to get hooked up when it comes to their Medicare, guys, because you know me. When I do something or when I support something, I'm going to make sure that it's 100% doing the best for our people who watch our channel. And this is what you're seeing here, that the Department of Justice recently sued 3 of the largest Medicare brokers and carriers for allegedly scamming seniors into plans that paid them more while claiming their unbiased Medicare scams, shady agents, and misinformation. All this, guys, millions of seniors to sign up for the wrong plan, not get the care that they needed, paying too much, not getting the right coverage. But guess what? I'm so thankful that we have partnered with Chapter, guys. The link is in the description. And this right here, I want to show you. You can call this number on the screen, guys. I've talked with these people. They're going to hook you up. Call this number. You're going to get, if you're on Medicare, guys, or if you're about to be on Medicare, call them. They will take care of you, guys. And look, the number is 667-895-3015. You can go to the link I have in the description, but these people are going to hook you up. There is hundreds and hundreds of Medicare plans, guys. You need to be taken care of. You paid into the system, and these people are going to make sure that it happens. I've talked with advisors. I've got my own family doing this, guys. That's how important it is to me, but also that I bring this to the channel. That whenever we bring something, we're going to do it because it's actually helping people out. They've literally saved, on average, seniors $1,100 a year. We just had a person who just got saved $1,400 from this channel. So this is big, guys, and this is why I want to help you out, not only bring you the truth. When we partner with sponsors, you're going to be taken care of, and I'm going to make sure that you are getting the best help possible. Again, we have partnered with Chapter. You can go to the link in the description, askchapter.org/true. You can call this number on the screen. They're going to take care of you, guys, because whenever I see stuff like this, and I know that there's been companies that have been literally taking advantage of seniors, I don't play around with that. And that's why I'm the same way. Trump is the same way when it comes to America and what you're about to see next, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I am ready to put America first in every single facet. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, we're finally taking care of our own. Listen to this.
Which is having the United States step in and stop a war in the Eurasian landmass that has already taken over 2 million casualties, killed and wounded, and hopefully the beginning of a rapprochement with our greatest ally from the Second World War, the bloodiest conflict in the history of mankind. the 80th commemoration today. And you see the joy of the young men and women of the greatest generation that realized that it was mission accomplished, unconditional surrender of both the Japanese empire that came, 100 days after the unconditional surrender of the Nazis, and before that, the unconditional surrender of the Italian fascists. Shouldn't be lost on you that these are the two great, nobody wants to talk about it. Mainstream media doesn't want to talk about it. The Fox network does everything go its way not to talk about it. But the commemoration today, when Putin and President Trump meet, are the two great allies of World War II. Not the Bolsheviks and not the Soviets, but the Russian people. Russian people took, the numbers are very tough to get your hands around, but let's say 30 million dead from the Red Army, breaking the Wehrmacht in the Bloodlands, particularly in places like Ukraine and around Ukraine and Stalingrad and Kursk and others. And then, another 20 or 30 civilians dead in places like the siege of St. Petersburg, at that time called Leningrad. If you haven't read the book, The 900 Days by Harrison Salisbury, a siege of 900 days at Leningrad, where the people, rumors were, turned to cannibalism to make sure they didn't fall to the Germans. All of this today, please keep this in mind, that very few of all these NATO and EU members, very few of their elites, which ran their countries, supported us in World War II. Yes, the British did, and they were great allies, but Churchill was very upfront. They were fighting to keep the balance and power in Europe, which had been the way that they had built the British Empire. And in Asia, with the collapse of the empire so quickly, they really weren't much of an ally. Although the troops they had fought incredibly bravely, particularly in the defense of India, the crown jewel of their empire. But you look at the rest of Europe, the French fell within 6 weeks. Then they had a Vichy government that was pro-German. The French resistance were essentially a handful of people that fought very bravely, suffered under the Germans, helped us tremendously in sabotage and commando raids and things like that. But in Norway, terrible. Sweden, neutral, which was, if you're neutral, you're basically pro-German. The Irish, what I'm descended from, horrible, terrible, went out of their way to support the German submarines. Right, they hated the British so much. Spain, Franco kept them out of the war. He was a fascist, kept Spain out of the war. Italy was a fascist. Eastern Europe, the people suffered tremendously. We did have Poland. The Polish people in exile were great allies, as others in exile were allies, but it was a handful. It's onesies, twosies compared to what the Russian people sacrificed. And this is what they don't want to teach you out of history. You want to get world peace? Combine the Russian people and the American people. Why do they hate Russia so much? I was in the Pentagon after coming off of sea duty, and my ship's mission was to hunt Soviet submarines. That was the anti-submarine warfare philosophy of the American fleet, to protect carrier battle groups and to hunt Russian fast attack submarines. Then go back to the Pentagon with the chief of naval operation and his senior staff with the beginning of the Reagan administration to take down the evil empire. But there was not the raw hatred. I can tell you, there's not the raw hatred you see now. Why is it the raw hatred? Why is it hatred? Why do they hate? Why is the mainstream media? Why is the powers that be? Why the deep state? All of this investigations. Why do they fear the Russian people and the American people working together? Why? Ask yourself that.
Wow.
They foam at the mouth. They hate Putin and they hate the Russian people. Why is that?
Guys, let me tell you this. What I love is I bring you receipts, guys. All this stuff that's happening right now, we got so much updates over the Trump-Putin meeting that has started. They said that this meeting could last about 7 hours. that they will be in. Like, guys, imagine being in a meeting for 7 hours. And guys, don't forget to show Mr. Norby some love in the chat for gifting 20 TrueLife News memberships, guys. Such a blessing. Show Mr. Norby some love in the chat. But they said that this is the meeting marks the first time leaders from the U.S. and Russia have met in person since Putin launched his deadly invasion of Ukraine more than 3.5 years ago. This is the first time leaders from the U.S. and Russia have met in person since this launch. Biden wasn't going to do anything. Biden wasn't in control. But right here, guys, first face-to-face meeting since Russia invasion could last up to 7 hours in Anchorage. And guys, like I said, this is so big. As much as this may be to say, this is weird for Hillary Clinton to say, but it's also telling. She says that if Trump brokers a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine, she's going to nominate him for a Nobel Prize. And you know what? We're going to hold her to it when, not if, when Trump makes it happen, guys. But I want to show you what people think about what Bannon just said about Putin, about what Trump is doing, about Ukraine. We bring you the numbers and the facts, and we bring you context, everybody. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Check this out.
Yeah, what a big change from where we were at the beginning of the Trump administration. GOP, the U.S. gives too much support to Ukraine. Back in February, the plurality, 47%, said yes. The U.S., in fact, gives too much support to Ukraine. Republicans did not like that. But look at where we are now. Look at this. No takes the cake at 46%. We have had an inverse of the positions. The Republican Party has shifted at least a little bit on Ukraine, and now all of a sudden they don't believe that, in fact, the U.S. gives too much support to Ukraine, which is very much unlike what we saw in February. Rarely do I see poll numbers like this. You read the blogosphere, you read X, you might think that Republicans think that we're way too much in Ukraine's camp, but Republicans at large no longer believe that.
And on the issue that is a big topic of debate, especially early on in the administration, supplying weapons, continued support for Ukraine in that regard, where are they?
Yeah, this is an even bigger shift. I mean, my goodness gracious. U.S. should give Ukraine more arms and military supplies. Look at this again among Republicans. In March, it was just 30%. Hello, we're now up to 51%. The majority of Republicans, and certainly majority of Americans at large, believe that the U.S. should give more arms to Ukraine. So this, to me, is just such an important point as we head into the summit later today. Americans and Republicans are much more on the side of Ukraine than they used to be. It is quite the switcheroo from where we were just a few months ago.
It's very true. And what about views of Vladimir Putin?
Yeah, what about views of Vladimir Putin? I mean, this guy is hated across the political spectrum. Unfavorable view of Putin. Look at this. Among all adults, 88%. Among Republicans, 84%. Independents, 88%. Democrats, 93%. You rarely ever find Democrats and Republicans united as much as they are on the issue of Vladimir Putin. The bottom line is they don't trust him and they don't like him.
Guys, look at that. 93% of Dems, 84% of the GOP, 88% of all Democrats say no to Putin. And you know what? I don't trust him either. I know what's going on, guys. A lot of stuff, a lot of news is going on. But again, too, we have to make sure that no matter what happens abroad, what's happening here in the United States is putting America first. Mr. Norby, thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. Let's go. I love it. Y'all show Mr. Norby some love in the chat, everybody. He said, don't you think it's time for a little donation on the next site we're giving to them from this TrueLife News Family Fund House? Give if you are able, but don't cut yourself short. Thanks for all your supporting here. Thank you so much, Mr. Norby, for supporting the channel, brother. Appreciate you so much, guys. Show Mr. Norby some love in the chat. Guys, an appeals court has given Trump the go-ahead to continue the mass firings at the federal level. Trump is not, remember, he's not just letting people go, guys. He's giving them an 8-month stipend. 8 months, they get paid for every single week like they normally would, and they can go work another job, but he's trying to limit the size of government. But again, this marks Trump as 18-0 when it comes to what? When it comes to him continuing to limit the federal size of government, winning at the Supreme Court level, winning at the appeals court level, guys. Because everything, we're getting all this breaking news over what's happening with Trump, Putin, and all this, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Check this out.
It's the narrative. You're driving the action of modern American politics. It is upon your shoulders. When President Trump came back from having the election stolen in 2020 and came back to Mar-a-Lago in January of 2021, when President Trump had to make that fundamental decision, the most courageous, morally courageous, physically courageous decision in American political history, to say they stole this and I've got to set things right. I will run again for the presidency, when the Murdochs and everybody in the Republican establishment, everybody turned against him except you in this audience that had his back and said, hey, you're our guy. And of course, in the logic of American history, it always had to be Trump. You remember, we talked about this every day in those dark days. Now, they seem dark, but we could see the sunlit uplands, right? Of what victory meant, electoral victory. Now we're down to it, okay? And this gets back to seizing the institutions. You see President Trump doing this in Washington, D.C. Even Morning Joe this morning said, hey, it is a terrible argument to make, to say that crime's not a problem in D.C. and crime's coming down. You see all these shows, and you don't have to watch them. Our staff does to curate it. It is over and over and over again, these ridiculous statistics. Everybody, Joe Scarborough said, everybody.
Guys, I love everything that's coming out. What I'm about to show you on all this breaking news. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, this is just big, big stuff. Today, Trump is the boss. Guys, put it in the chat. Put it in the comments. Trump is the boss. We are seeing so much major wins coming through. Why? Because we finally have a president with a backbone.
Regardless of your left-wing progressive or right-wing Republican, everybody knows D.C.'s a hellhole, a crime-ridden, filthy, dirty, graffiti-ridden. It's an embarrassment what's happened to this beautiful capital. And Trump's had enough of it. And that's why seizing the institutions, particularly about the imperial capital, at the same time, the cultural institutions of the Kennedy Center and the Smithsonian and many more to come, and of course the universities and the law firms and the media, confronting them all. This is what seizing the institutions is about. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be gnarly. It's not going to go in a straight line. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days, but continue to press on. This is why you, this audience, drove the action in back of a handful of grassroots folks and a guy named Brian Harrison. This is where Glenn Story comes in, the Patriot mobile team, so amazing, to drive this coming out of Texas because of massive demographic shifts. And guys, now because you
want to talk about massive demographic shifts, guys, I'm bringing the receipts. I'm literally bringing, this is from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. This chart, what you're seeing, the only reason the border wasn't secure was because Donald Trump wasn't in charge. Look at the blue lines. The blue lines is President Biden's entire presidency. Look how the massive spikes of hundreds of thousands of illegals coming into the border, coming into the United States. This is sourced from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Agency. Look at the amazing drop-off at the very end because of Trump being in office. Coming in, immediately dropped. And why? Because the Biden administration wanted to import voters. No other reason. They didn't have to do it. They could have secured the border. They didn't pass any laws to secure the border. They didn't do anything besides just declare emergency to protect Americans. Look at this. This is why we voted for President Trump, and this is why so many things are changing and the Democrats are losing it.
Made it a huge deal. President Trump has said, he's told Lutnick, we got to have a mid-decade census, and we got to do it right. And you heard Wade Miller today, and Lutnick's got to get on with it. They got to fire today all those deadbeats at the Bureau of the Census Bureau. They gave us the worst census ever last time and blamed it on the pandemic. Seize the institutions. the Democrats are tough. The Democrats are hard. Gavin Newsom, Pritzker announced his kind of the other day, and he's a billionaire, he's a rich kid, he doesn't really know what he's doing, he kind of wanders around. You saw what he did with the folks he invited up there. That's his way of doing things. He's just going to spend a lot of money to try to be president. First off, Pritzker ain't never going to be president. Gavin Newsom understands he's a political animal. He understands he doesn't have a record to run on from California. The disaster they made that's why people are leaving. He's going to do this. With the Democrats being in the fetal position everywhere except in the courts and legal, lawfare, and Alex Marlowe's book so brilliantly lays it out, the lawfare, he's going to step forward and said, hey, I'm going to do it, and the first thing I'm going to do is thwart the feckless governor of Texas, and I'm going to do a redistricting, and I'm going to get you 7 seats. Remember, you're going to have a 52-seat delegation in California before we do the census and take a couple of 3 away. But there's going to be like Massachusetts, they're going to be like New England. You're going to have no Republican representatives, or if you do, it's going to be 50-2. It's game on, folks.
Yes.
And you're driving this. We need, and DeSantis done it, but Florida's going to step up. Ohio, Indiana's got to step up. We're going to spend more time about Indiana in the next couple of days. Got to step up. Don't want to hear it. No whining in the war room. Got to step up. I think Missouri got another one there. We're going to have 14 or 15 before we do the census and before the Supreme Court kicks in. We need those, and we need them now. The reason you need them, it's fair. We're talking about fairness to people. This is unacceptable. And it's unacceptable what's happened up in New England, and we're going to get to that later. But right now, we got 15 or more in Texas. And Abbott, look, you've been so hapless. And you can go on Fox and mumble through all that stuff you want. There's a bunch of 70-year-olds. That audience is irrelevant. A bunch of 70-year-olds, okay? The War Room, Real America's Voice, these other podcasts is where you get the battle-hardened combat veterans of politics, modern politics. And they think you're a joke because you can't come in with all that happy talk you put up there. You should have done this during the regular session. We wouldn't be in this situation now. And guess what? We want all 9 or maybe 10.
Dang.
It should be one for every week. And if you said there's 9 or 10 available, we want all 9 or 10. We want to take a maximalist position on this, a maximalist position. In New England, they did. It's 25-0.
Wow.
And you got the governor of Massachusetts saying, hey, I'm going to have to do redistricting. Lady, I think it's 10-0. You already squeezed all the juice out of that.
Guys, so much big news coming out today, guys. So massive. What's happening with the Trump-Putin meeting that has started? They say this meeting is going to last 7 hours. They're talking about land swaps. Now that's what the Russians want, is land swaps. Trump has come out and said there's not going to be any land swaps whatsoever or any territory concessions, guys. That is the biggest breaking news that has just happened. Is Trump said what somebody just heard, and they reported out in the news, no territorial concessions to the Russians. So that is big. Want to say thank you so much, Chris Prez, for gifting 10 TrueLife News memberships. OG of the channel, guys. Show Chris some love in the chat, helping to grow the TrueLife News family. I love it, guys. Show Chris some love in the chat, as well as Domino Riot. He said, love your show. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Domino. Show Domino some love in the chat, guys. Y'all are so kind. And don't forget to show Mr. Norby some love, guys, because this is big. Growing the TrueLife News family, adding all these memberships. Remember, on the 22nd of every single month, we are giving back to a local charity with your support in the memberships and the super chats. And guys, we want to give as big as we can. So we appreciate all your support, guys. And what I want to show you, again, the Democrats have no leg to stand on. They're trying to come out and switch gears, just like I showed you guys. This is the most hilarious, trying to kiss Trump's butt. Hillary Clinton says she'd nominate Trump for Nobel Prize if he brokers a peace between Russia and Ukraine. You know he's going to. It's going to happen. And now she's trying to get on Trump's good side. But I want you to listen to this, because this is the reality of what's going on.
President Trump is telling it like it is, especially when it comes to the Democratic Party.
I would say more than half are sane, but they are led by insane people. And the kind of things that they're pushing are not something. We have a communist running for the mayor of New York. and I wish him well. And we're going to go out and we're going to vote it in by the Republicans, because I don't believe that anybody is capable of making a deal with these people. They have gone crazy.
And the voters agreed. Democrat net favorability plunges to a near 3-decade low. A negative 32 net favorability rating among registered voters.
Guys, if you appreciate this truth, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, thank you so much for your support. Big, big, big news today.
And yet Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says the party is perfect the way it is.
To the pundits and the critics about what direction the National Democratic Party needs to go, I say take a look at Illinois Democrats. Winning elections is partly about messaging and strategy, but it's mostly about values and delivering on them. And our values are exactly where they ought to be. So it's time to stop apologizing when we're not wrong.
Pritzker is the face of your party right now. You're probably in trouble.
Yeah, the bouncy butcher of Illinois. Pritzker can only survive if he speaks in platitudes like values. You want to talk about values? This guy designated Illinois as a sanctuary city for restrictions of trans surgeries on kids. So if you want to cut your kid's junk off, you can go to his state. This is a guy that supports a grotesque practice. He promotes child mutilation under the guise of child-affirming care. There is no care involved in this. Everybody that is involved in this practice should be thrown in jail, right? There is a feeling about the Democrat Party that you cannot deny. You blame innocent people on crimes of ancestry. You tell people their successes are oppressive because it's based on the backs of others. You brand people as phobic when they speak out against butchery. You push inappropriate sexual ideology on children. You advocate for deviant behavior over common sense. This is why he can't talk about issues, because you can drill down, and we can't let this go. The Democrat Party, until they have a reckoning, deserve to live in purgatory for this. It is shameful. This is the worst issue, I think the worst social issue I've seen in my lifetime.
Dana, Greg makes a very important and good point, and not a single fat joke in all of that.
Bouncing butcher.
Yeah, but he raises a very important point. I mean, you do sort of wonder if maybe some of these people aren't insane.
Well, J.B. Pritzker has 3 strikes against him. Yeah. He's white, male, and rich. And in today's Democratic Party, that's like 3 strikes, you're out. You're going to go nowhere. And it makes sense because he's never had a tough race. Any seat that he's gone for, he can self-fund. No, nothing wrong with that. I'm happy with that. But that doesn't mean you're not going to get a groundswell of support that you would need. President Trump is very rich, and yet he was able to get all of the support. J.B. Pritzker excites nobody. You can spend a ton of money, but ask Mayor Bloomberg how that goes. Yeah. And I just hope that some consultants make a ton of money so that he can earn 1 delegate.
Guys, let me tell you this. You want to know how insane some of the Democrats are getting? This was published through the New York Times. Abolish, I know it's an opinion piece, but still, if it's you're publishing this on one of the biggest news outlets out there, abolish the Senate, end the Electoral College, pack the court. Are you serious? Like, guys, this is we used to think the military would stand up to Trump. We were wrong. Basically citing a coup, pushing for a military coup against a sitting president. That's crazy. That's insane, guys. Domino Riot, welcome to the family. Let's go. Y'all show Domino Riot some love in the chat, everybody. This is crazy, guys, of what you're seeing here. And I want to show you guys that even still, with everything that's happening, with all the stuff about what Trump is doing, what I love is that it gets to the point that they say, the CNN panel is challenged, can you give Donald Trump credit for anything that's going right? Or can you just say one nice thing about him? Listen to this.
Do you know what the gas prices are right now compared to last month? Gas is down 2.2%. Do you know what it is compared to when Trump took office? It's down by 11%. Groceries, since Donald Trump took office, down by 0.46%. The PPI report, a lot of it is in services, but we want services to cost more if they're being done by American citizens, not by illegal immigrants. Cars, the most impacted by tariffs. Do you know how cars are doing? They're down 2.4% since April, since the tariffs took into effect. I want to make one point. When there was greedflation after the pandemic, when corporations realized they could get away with raising prices on the American consumer, I was infuriated by that. What Donald Trump has managed to do is bring in $110 billion in tariff revenue, and consumer prices are up by less than 1%. It's coming from those same greedy corporations. He has forced them to eat it. Now, Abby, you're saying they haven't passed it on yet.
Listen,
but can we just give him the credit now?
I think that
for having done
I think that we
that?
should just
This is a
acknowledge.
huge
Let's just. I just want to
Guys, do you hear that? She's like, can we just give Trump the credit he deserves? Can we stop being so left-wing that nothing Trump does is right? No. What Trump is doing is kicking butt, guys. Look at this. It is such insane news to see how far these Democrats will not do anything positive towards Trump. If Trump was to solve cancer, they'd probably blame him for saying he created it in some way or fashion. I mean, that's how crazy things have gotten. Listen to this.
Of course, the big difference is that Donald Trump is always talking about other people's problems. J.B. Pritzker's talking about these problems that
Not values.
Yeah. So, Jessica, obviously one of the reasons that, and you're combating this fly.
There's a big
that is
fly in here.
really
It will not go away.
intent on.
It just landed on my head. Look at that.
So, it sure did.
It's like Mike Pence.
So,
Matt, you lost an election based on that.
No, we lost an election based on cost of living
both
and immigration.
But also
Come on.
both of them. Kellyanne.
I think that the Democratic Party was very unified and had almost unanimity for a long time. Not a single one of them voted for Amy Coney Barrett. Not a single one of them voted for the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. Not a single one of them, they all voted for Inflation Reduction Act. You see this fraying now. You see the mayor of Chicago not showing up to J.B. Pritzker stuff. You see Hakeem Jeffries staying on different networks, sort of distancing himself from Mondami and saying he's got to make that case to New York City. This is new for the Democratic Party. They've earned these low approval ratings. And they've earned them also from a group we haven't talked about, independents. For years, independents really were lax Democrats. There were folks who said, yeah, I would be a Democrat, but I have a problem with this. And the Democrats kind of own the social, cultural stuff. That's Trump's wheelhouse now. He takes every cultural zeitgeist and he's ahead of it and leads it. And the trans stuff is really just the tip of the spear there. But here is the biggest problem for the Democrats as I say it. The rich white men and a few women, to Dana's point, who are funding the party, are funding a party that wants to rail against the rich. J.B. Pritzker spent, quote, $323 million. Wow. Yes, it's his own money. $323 million. Imagine what we could do in the state of Illinois with his money. He bought his governor's seat. He's not a good governor. He's not a good speaker. They're not great at what they're doing. And I think therein lies the problem. AOC wears a stupid homemade gown that says tax the rich, gets all kinds of penalties for doing so, has to pay for her seat and more. But she's saying tax the rich in a party that's being led by J.B. Pritzker and George Soros and other billionaire donors.
JB.
Guys, I'm telling you, the approval rating, they can't stand it. Trump is winning across the board. Guys, I told you, I'm bringing you so many receipts from everywhere that Trump is winning. And guess what? They can't help but say it. Guys, if you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, we got Mr. Norby who says he'll give a big donation to the charities if we get to 1,800 likes, guys, on stream. So if you haven't hit the thumbs up like button, guys, please do so. Let's get to the 1,800. Appreciate you so much. Listen to this.
Here on a summer Friday with some good news, right? Consumer spending, the engine of this economy, it increased by a solid amount in July. You see 0.5%. That's exactly as expected. And this is a relief because there were some concerns earlier this year when we saw consumer spending drop. And consumer spending, this is 70% of the economic output. So when we did see those declines, that did raise concerns about consumers possibly being tapped out and all this confusion over the erratic trade war. Also significant, we saw an upward revision to June, right? June was a solid number and it was revised even higher. You can see this is the trend of monthly increases and decreases for retail sales. And earlier this year, again, you do see those concerning drops. But now look at this, we have 2 straight months of positive numbers. Now, one thing to note here is this is not adjusted for inflation. And we do know that some prices on some goods have gone up because of these historically high tariffs on imports. Also, this report doesn't tell us who is spending. And we do know that while higher income Americans continue to shop and spend, lower income Americans are spending less in some categories. Sometimes they're actually pulling back. Now, digging through this report, which we really just got a few moments ago, a couple of highlights I want to break out as far as where people are spending. So we did see a significant increase in spending for autos, spending on furniture and home furnishing stores.
And those are all things, right, that were expected to go up. And we even saw an increase on furniture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And expected to go up in part because of tariffs and because people were trying to beat the clock on tariffs. So they were buying stuff ahead of time. Also,
And guys, do you see that? Guess what? People are spending money. Economy is growing. We're doing great. Trump is in Alaska meeting with Putin, making things happen, guys. This is monumental. They said this meeting is going to last at least 7 hours, up to 7 hours, which remember, Trump said within the first 2 minutes, I'm going to know whether Putin wants to make a deal. So guess what? Now that we know it's lasting for hours, they're making a deal, guys. El Prophet, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said, Joel, we need Alaska. Trump, please don't give it away. Oh, I can promise you Trump ain't giving Alaska away. That is so filled with oil and just so much extra stuff that, I mean, so many minerals, guys, such a protection for us against Russia. I can trust me, that ain't going away anytime soon. But what I love, guys, is we have so much that's going on. Everybody is coming out. I'm bringing you all the whole breaking news today over what's happened with Trump's team, Trump's cabinet, Kash Patel, everybody. I hope you appreciate this, guys, because again, too, Trump's not just winning. His entire dream team is winning. Listen to this.
Uncovered thousands and thousands of Russia hoax documents inside these burn bags in a secret room at the FBI. The director also discovered official allegations from a Democratic staffer who accused Adam Schiff of orchestrating leaks of classified intelligence in order to hurt President Trump. Those allegations had been swept under the rug at the FBI until now, and that's not all. According to a bombshell report from JustTheNews.com founder, editor-in-chief John Solomon, James Comey also accused of routinely leaking classified information to the New York Times through a friend, a professor at Columbia University. Just the tip of the iceberg. Anyway, here with the very latest, FBI Director Kash Patel. Kash, great to have you. Let's start with the burn room. Now, your knowledge of this issue runs wide and it runs deep because you were working with Devin Nunes at the time. I believe you were his chief of staff. You know a lot about this topic. Were you as surprised as I was that all of that information in that burn room existed?
Sean, I was blown away, but sadly, it's come to be expected in this town when corrupt bureaucrats weaponize and destroy law enforcement like predecessors of mine did at the FBI. And thankfully, Donald Trump's mandate and election victory was for transparency and accountability. Sean, just think about this for a second. Not only did we expose the Russiagate hoax with the greats like Devin and Trey and Johnny Ratcliffe when we were back there in the House Intel Committee excavating and exposing the FISA abuses, the corruption of political parties, and the lies to a federal court just to illegally surveil a presidential candidate. I come in then years later, nearly a decade as a director of the FBI, thinking we uncovered most of it. But sadly, we found a room locked away in the Hoover building that contained burn bags. And just for your audience, Sean, a burn bag is a government bag that is specifically created to destroy classified evidence and shred and burn it. Hence the name burn bag. We didn't find one, we found 7. That wasn't the only thing we found in there. We found hard drives from our predecessors and prior FBI leadership. And folks like Page, Strzok, Comey, McCabe, Comey, the list goes on from Russiagate. The names were strewn all over these materials. Now, as our great Attorney General just told you, we can't deny or confirm what we're looking at, but what we can discuss is what we've publicly disclosed. And these documents have been publicly disclosed because the greatest way to educate and bring along the American public for transparency, initiative, and accountability under President Trump is to give them the documents. And step 1 is by cleaning house inside the walls of Hoover.
Let's go.
Okay, well, one of the important things you got to remember.
And guys, I want to show you this again too. So much breaking news is going on today. When we're talking about cleaning house, this right here, you can't tell me. I want you to listen to this. 275,000 illegal immigrants were receiving payments on Social Security. And think about it. At $1,000 average, and that's at the low end, guys. That's $275 million a month. That is $3.3 billion $3.3 billion a year of your Social Security going to illegal immigrants. Listen to this.
We've already kicked nearly 275,000 illegal aliens off of the Social Security system. These are people, many of them have already left the country, and yet we were sending them checks all the time. And 275,000, and that number is now even larger than that, Frank. It's an unbelievable job. And what that's doing is making the system strong. It's making it strong.
You hear that, guys? I told you. So when you hear Kash Patel and all them talk about cleaning up the system, it's happening across the board. We are fully, and I believe it, with Trump's cabinet team. I'm not talking about Congress, guys. Congress sucks. The Senate sucks. The House of Representatives, they all suck. They're all just, to me, a bunch of people that don't know how to cut spending and actually put America first. But Trump's cabinet team is kicking butt and making sure to put America first.
That's the FBI's job. You gather the evidence, and then it is examined, in this case, by the Attorney General, Pam Bondi. And, you know, but there's been a lot of talk and a lot written about the investigation into a grand conspiracy. To the extent possible, what can you tell us about that? In other words, that this is long-standing. If it is, in fact, a grand conspiracy, the statute of limitations would be eliminated. Is that what the investigation is about?
Well, Sean, what we're doing is building a case for the American public under the Truth and Transparency and Accountability Initiative. And what I mean by that is AG Bondi brilliantly highlighted our partners, Director Ratcliffe at the CIA and Director Gabbard over at the DNI. We are working with them because the documents that would facilitate an investigation of this magnitude don't just rest at the FBI and DOJ. They're throughout the intelligence community. And we, the Russiagate guys like Johnny Ratcliffe and myself who investigated this and exposed this, are trying to expose documentation that we've known existed for years. At the same time, we're finding new material. So the best approach is to release this information with them and also go to our colleagues in Congress who have an oversight function on the judiciary committees and oversight committees and demand from us information and documentation that we can publicize. Things like the Durham Annex, which we've known have existed this entire time, but were classified for political reasons. We are educating the American public as we build through this transparency initiative.
Yes.
And where the investigation goes, I can assure you of this. We will max accountability for the American public. We delivered before when we ran the Russiagate investigation. I now happen to be President Trump's choice for FBI director, and I'm honored to lead that charge with our great partners in Johnny Ratcliffe and our great Attorney General and the prosecutors they have over there who are just as committed to justice as everyone should be, blindly so. We are going to de-weaponize the FBI and get its credibility back to the American people by delivering the accountability they need, by showing them what we're doing every step of the way. That has never been done before.
Guys, I'm telling you, nobody's holding back anymore, guys. Look at this, guys. Trump tells First Lady, go forward on the suit against Hunter Biden. You got Kash Patel, Dan Bongino. Guys, people, like, again, I know this isn't the person that we want to be indicted, but still, it's an indictment by the DOJ against Mayor of New Orleans, indicted by the DOJ for corruption. Guys, this is LaToya Cantrell. So again, too, breaking news, New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell has been indicted. You got Trump telling his wife Melania, go ahead with that suit. We're going to go ahead and sue Hunter Biden for all those defamation. We're going to sue him for $1 billion. And that's what it is, $1 billion. This is what I'm talking about, guys. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button. And again, guys, thank you so much to everybody who's wishing me happy anniversary. It's mine and my wife's 6-year anniversary. After the show, me and her are going to go out and have a great time. Got, babysitters for the kids. And just want to say thank you for all your support. Remember, if we can get to 1,800 likes on stream, if you haven't hit the thumbs up like button, please do so. If we can get to 1,800 likes, we're going to have Mr. Norby. He says he's going to make a big donation to the charities. Want to give him some love for the 20 Gifted True Life News memberships, as well as Chris Prez. Some love in the chat, guys. Y'all are awesome. And what I love too, guys, is that we're barely getting to the bottom of all this. All this corruption, all the stuff that we've been seeing, we're finally exposing it all. And why? It's because we have good people who are putting America first. Trump is winning with all this, and it's making a huge, huge difference. Listen to this.
President Trump taking a victory lap on tariffs after another benign inflation report, slamming expert economists. On Truth Social, writing, Goldman Sachs made a bad prediction on market repercussions of tariffs and the tariffs themselves. I think David Solomon should get himself a new economist, or maybe just focus on being a DJ and not running a major financial institution. So tariffs haven't been inflationary. We saw that yesterday, and they're bringing in a lot of revenue to this country, $27 billion last month alone, and that's before all the reciprocal tariffs were unleashed on August 1st.
Just on the tariff income, I've been saying $300 billion, but I think we're going to have to substantially revise that up. So well in excess, 1% of GDP. In terms of the committed investment by private industry, we're well over $10 trillion.
And that was Scott Besson on your show yesterday, Larry.
Thanks for cutting me out of the picture.
Clearly, we did it on purpose. Your take on where we stand. Tariff revenue has been significant. The inflation number yesterday was benign. There hasn't been inflation from tariffs yet, unless it's coming down the pike like Jerome Powell thinks it's going to, pop up like a bomb and explode. But it doesn't look like it.
I agree with President Trump that David Solomon should go back to being a DJ.
Okay.
I really like
we
that
can start
very
there.
much. And Goldman Economics Department has always been a left-wing economics department, for better or worse. I mean, I don't think most of the Goldman people pay any mind to the economics department, but maybe that's a different segment. One of the things that was most interesting is that Treasury Secretary Scott Besson on our show, and then he repeated it this morning on another network, is calling for a 50 basis point cut in the September meeting. And first of all, it's unusual for a Treasury Secretary to call for anything like that. I mean, they don't usually talk about rates. So, second, 50. And then he has said, again, in his interview this morning, at least 150 basis point cutting for a sort of a cycle. And I think that's terrific. And he also told me, Trump is thinking about suing the Fed for their construction problems. And I asked Scott Besson about that. And Scott said he was more worried about changing the foundation of the Fed. That's an interesting code word. He wants a big shakeup at the Fed. All right?
Let's go.
Full stop. Very important. Who's going to do that? I don't know. He's interviewing many, many people. I don't know if you have the clip of it, but he and I were talking at the very end of the interview, and I said, you've done a great job in a year. He said the trade stuff should be over by late October, or he called that aspirational. he's got the one big, beautiful bill. He led the charge on that. So I said, all these things, you'd be ready to leave Treasury and go run the Fed. And I got a big smile out of him, which turned into a lot of laughter right at the end of the thing. It was terrific. But when he said foundational, all right, that's very important. He's going to, we spent a little time. He's going to shake up the board. He's going to shake up the district banks, these Federal Reserve banks. Nobody knows what they're doing, except they're spending lots of money. They used to put out good research. Who knows what they're doing? Their appointments have all been, almost all of them have been appointed by Democrats, not Republicans. By the way, the chairman of the Fed has veto power over the district bank president. Of course, they're spending too much money. So I just thought foundational was very interesting, and 50 basis points and 150 basis points. You're seeing an aggressive Scott Bessent. I'm glad of it. I think it's high time they did that.
Okay, so
Guys,
the data so far would indicate that.
Again, what I love is that we're moving towards rate cuts in the next month. Trump is meeting with Putin. They said this meeting is going to last for literally possibly 7 hours to get something done. And Trump is just the biggest boss in the world, guys. This is him walking with Putin. And look what comes by as they're walking. He says, oh, what is that in the sky? Oh, it's a B-2 bomber. Oh, and some fighter jets. Oh, yeah, that B-2 bomber, that's a $2 billion aircraft. And look at the look on Trump and then Putin's face, how he tells him, oh yeah, you see that? You mess with us? Guess what? Yeah, you see that? Yeah, they're coming for you if you don't agree, guys. That's what I'm talking about. What a boss move Trump is handling today, guys, with these meetings. This is huge. Want to give some love to Mr. Tracy J. Norby. He said, here's for the halibut or half of it. Guys, show Mr. Norby some love for gifting to these charities. Guys, remember, when you give a super chat, you're a member. We donate this money to local charities, and it is such a blessing, guys. We've given so much with your support. Show Mr. Norby some love in the chat. Jeffrey Hatt, thank you so much for the super chat. Said, happy anniversary, Joel. Thank you so much. Show Jeffrey some love in the chat, as well as Chris Prez for gifting another 5 TrueLife News memberships. Thank you so much, brother, for your support. OG of the channel. Show Chris, Jeffrey, and Mr. Norby some love in the chat. Guys, if we get to 1,800 likes, guys, on stream, that's what we want. Just got a few moments left, guys. So much is happening today. This is a historic day. The first time in 3.5 years that the President of the United States is meeting with the leader of Russia, Vladimir Putin, in person in Alaska, making things happen. And we got good news, guys, again, just on the economy, what's moving forward, because Trump is making things happen, guys. Listen to this.
It's hard to grasp that.
But it is hard to grasp it because, to your point, it doesn't match the reality. The market and the economy are very robust. You can see it. The labor market, okay, is it softening a little bit? Might be, but it's certainly not collapsing the way that they would like to tell you. Do we deserve a rate cut? We're going to get one. I think 50 basis points is right. I think the fact that he said that on your show yesterday is kind of planting the seed that that's what the market should begin to expect, as a 50 basis point cut.
And they're sending in, look, they're sending in Steve Myron.
Right.
He's the CEA chair. Okay, smart guy, but they're sending him in. I'm not going to say he has his instructions. He's coming on our show. He's my lead this evening on the show. But I think Myron will push for it. I think Waller and Mickey Bowman will not object to 50, all right? And they may help him out. There's a couple other people that were appointed by Biden who are making noises that they think it's time to cut. Kenny, I don't think that, we're not going into a labor market recession.
No, I don't think so.
I think Waller is right. If you look at private payrolls, you're at stall speed. You're at stall. If you take out it's not just government spending, government payrolls, but what we call government adjacent, the social spending on healthcare and stuff like that, what's left ain't much.
Right.
And that's part of this story. The one big beautiful bill hasn't kicked in yet. I mean, we need to get it kicking in as fast as possible, the IRS and so forth, and start building those factories. But I do think there's weakness in the economy. You're still in a housing recession. So I'm saying that adds to the inflation pictures, and they need to be more aggressive.
Does it, let me throw just a maybe a complicator, maybe not, but you look at the latest inflation report, Larry, and the biggest drivers of inflation were not tariff-related things,
Let's
right?
go.
Airfares, dental care, auto insurance, medical care, et cetera.
And shelter, the whole bloody shelter
But
thing.
now, but
which
can
shouldn't
I
be.
ask a question about that? Because on the
Guys,
one hand,
that is so big, guys. Again, it's just everything that Trump is doing. Such a smart businessman, knows how to make it happen when it comes to the economy, guys. Again, we know that Trump is a great businessman. We know that he's made himself billions and billions of dollars. But what I love is that he's brought that to the United States, one of the biggest businesses in the world. The biggest business, the #1 superpower, and now he's working with Putin to meet and get a peace deal, guys. I love this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Want to say thank you to everybody who's watching. If you're not subscribed, please consider joining our family here at True Life News, hitting that subscribe button so that we can serve you every day with the top news. And if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up like button, guys. We appreciate your support so much. Want to say thank you to everybody that supports our channel, guys. Remember, we have officially sponsored with Chapter. If you are on Medicare, if you're about to be on Medicare, call them. The number on screen, 667-895-3015. Tell them that Joel sent you, True Life News. They're going to hook you up, guys. This is my thing. I hate complicated things that are set up by the government, but that's how it is. And you need support, and they do it for free, guys. This is all free support. They're going to hook you up. They're going to take care of you. And I just love it that they are moving towards doing this, not only to make sure to hold Medicare accountable, but to really help people out. And they've saved seniors on average $1,100 a year. I don't know about y'all, but that's a lot of money to me. So call them up, get hooked up, be taken care of, guys. I want to give some special love to those that have given today, guys. Thank you so much to all of our members of the channel. Y'all are the best, guys. Thank you to everybody that's given super chat donations, guys. Show some special love to Mr. Norby for Congress in the chat, OG of the channel, guys. Thank you so much for gifting 20 True Life News memberships as well as super chats. Show Gregosaurus Galore some love in the chat. Jeff Paul Freeman, Peter Corbett. Thank you so much, Chris Prez, for gifting 15 True Life News memberships. Domino Riot, thank you so much for the super chat and joining the channel. El Prophet, Jeffrey Hatt. Guys, show them some love in the chat. We are moving forward in this entire world with everybody knowing, don't mess with America. We've got a amazing, strong backbone president who is now laying down the law with Putin. We have Trump's cabinet who is putting America first, guys, and I love it. I hope you do too. I want to say thank you to everybody that is supporting the channel. And Mr. Norby with the super chat again. Let's go. Thank you so much for reaching that 1,800 likes. Show Mr. Norby some love in the chat. OG of the channel, guys. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing these videos, guys, on Facebook, wherever, guys, X. It really does help to grow our channel. We just want to get the truth out there. And remember, on the 22nd of every single month, we donate live to a local charity. This guy right here, guys, I donate live. You see the receipt. I do it in front of you, fully transparent, to show you that this channel is not just about bringing the truth. We are going to give to local charities and help change lives. Guys, love you. Appreciate y'all so much. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.